What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So Senna, this is the League of Legends champion from the Shadow Isles I'm going to be covering today. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do what I do every single Thursday. And if you don't know by now, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through her bio, then I'm going to go through her skins, then I'm going to go through her story. I'm also going to go through her spotlight and special interactions, and maybe anything else that might be of interest as well to the champion as well. I'll timestamp the whole thing as I always do, and yeah, without further ado, let's go. So this is Senna, the Redeemer. Great name. As shadows embrace the light, I will embrace them. Clearly you can see the related champions. We have Lucian, we have her best friend here, which is Thresh, and obviously Hecarim as well. So let's move on to the bio. So Senna's journey to become a Sentinel of Light started with darkness. It started with the Black Mist. Now if I remember correctly, in Lucian's story and bio, it was Lucian's father, wasn't it, that was a Sentinel of Light? And his apprentice was Senna before Lucian, I think. Anyways, Senna's first encountered the mist at an early age when wreckage from a distant harrowing washed onto the shores of her homeland. The black mist within the wreckage awakened upon contact with life. She and her village survived the ensuing storm of souls thanks to the intervention of a nearby sentinel, which is probably Senna's Lucian's dad. But in the wake of the attack, the mist was still mysteriously drawn to Senna. She was cursed, marked by the mist, so its horrors pursued her endlessly. The darkness drawn to her like a dying moth to a living flame. She could never know when it would strike next, but worse was when it didn't come and Senna had to imagine when waiting in every shadow. The sentinel who saved Senna, here we go, whatever that is, veteran named Urias, did not understand why the mist was drawn to a solitary girl. But he knew if she was going to survive, she had to learn to fight back. And so Senna joined Urias in the Sentinel of Light. A sacred, so to say. Yeah, sacred, not scared. That would be kind of different. A scared order. A sacred order that would be tracked backed to the Blessed Isles. Kind of ironic, and it's traced back to the Blessed Isles, the same place where the Black Mist originated from. Where the Black Mist originated. She proved to be a deadly enemy of darkness, mastering the relic stone pistol Urias gave her, learning to channel her soul of light. Yet, even as Senna grew comfortable working with Urias, relying on him for gruff guidance, she learned to keep others at gun's length. If she allowed them to get too close, they would only be hurt when the mist came again. Senna could never stay in one place for long, something that she and Urias learned when those who offered them shelter inevitably found themselves under siege. After even Urias was slain, Senna wasn't sure if she could let anyone else get close again. Reluctantly, Senna sought out Urias' family in Demacia, here we go, to tell them of his fate. There she met his son Lucian, who would not relent until Senna allowed him to join Urias' parting vigil, because the two guns that Lucian has are his father's and Senna's, I think. From the very first moment she found herself flustered, wondering if her walls were enough to keep out someone so stubborn, full of honour and love. It became clear over time that Lucian's place was with the Sentinels as Senna's partner and Senna as his. The more they served together, the deeper their bond became, and Senna realised that the value of her walls wasn't what she kept out, but who she let in. Yet as Lucian's love for Senna grew, so did his desire to save her from her curse. In time it became his only focus, the light in his eyes passing into the gun, making Senna wary that Lucian would only see sorrow where there was love. It was while researching a cure that Senna and Lucian came into conflict with the sadistic wraith Thresh. Yep, let me say that again. The sadistic wraith Thresh. So close to answering mystery So close to answering mysteries about the Ruination and Senna's curse, Lucien refused to turn back, and that was the downfall, wasn't it? Thresher's chain whipped towards Senna as she stood between the wraith and her husband. More painful than the scythe was seeing the look of anguish on Lucien's face. With her last breath, Senna screamed for Lucien to run, because in essence she saved him, didn't she? If I remember this right, she saved him, which no doubt is going to make him even more determined, because clearly he feels guilty that he's let her die. So yeah, more reason to try and save her. But as Senna felt the death blow and knew she had lost, she realised there was a glimmer of hope. Her whole life, the mist had haunted her. She didn't need to fear it anymore. She could ride it into the darkness of Thresher's lantern and see what was inside. Her curse had become her only chance for salvation. While Lucien spent years seeking to grant his beloved peace, Senna explored her spectral prison. Yeah, this is interesting. It's interesting to find out, obviously, from her point of view, the time in the lantern, how that was. She learned that life had been the origin of her curse. Its spark shone brighter within her than anyone else. She'd been infected with it when she first encountered the wreckage that brought the harrowing. Okay, there she'd been touched by a powerful, lingering soul, given its unnatural life. It was life that the black mist could never let go. She could use this force to pull the mist into herself, empowering her to sever its hold over others in the lantern. Among the souls she freed were sentinels who possessed lost knowledge of the Ruination's origins or of her curse and the love that created it. When Lucien drove his broken pistol in Senna Shadow's Embrace, which is one of the best cinematics I've watched, into the lantern, intending to end the torture of the souls within, Senna was waiting. She escaped. Shrouded in mist she'd drawn from other souls, she was dead but also alive, thanks to her curse, wielding a relic stone cannon, that could channel darkness along with light. I didn't know that. Relic stone cannon that could channel darkness along with light. Right. While the weapons before were just weapons of light, forged from the weapons of fallen sentinels. No longer running from the mist, Senna now understands the suffering of the souls within. Though it is painful, she draws their mist into herself, liberating them and blasting darkness with darkness. Embracing her death every time she transforms into a wraith, she becomes like those she's fought, only to be reborn again thanks to the life infecting her. Though Senna and Lucien's love survived every death, now they face the consequences of her rebirth. Senna knows what they have to do next, a secret gleaned within the lantern. Find the ruined king and stop him at any cost. And this is so true, that last paragraph is so true, because clearly now, over the years, Lucien's mission was just basically saving his wife. That's all he cares about. And now it's done, he just wants to spend time with her. And that's what you can kind of see in the Ruination. He'll go wherever she goes, but he's happy not to do it as well. He's happy just to spend time with her. But now, because she's been in the lantern, she has a bigger purpose now, which is, clearly it says there, find the ruined king and stop him and at any costs. Right, good. Okay, good to read the bio. Find out obviously a little bit about Senna and her connection to the Black Mist as well, which seems to be quite special. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to her skins. Let's go. So this is Senna's base skin. Nice. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, look at the size of that cannon. I mean, yeah, that's overkill. That's fresh. But no, I like it. I like the overall design. I like the colours she's got there. I like the white cape with the white on the top and red underneath. The green eyes. Yeah, it all works. Looks really good. What I've also noticed is with the other skins, there's kind of like a little bit of a bio along with each one as well. So this one here is the True Damage skin. That's good as well. I like that one. The True Damage track as well is amazing. Really good. So this one says here, Senna rose to fame with her stunning vocal range and iconic sense of style. But when a shady adversary from her past imprisoned her in a restrictive record deal, Thresh is obviously expanding his range, they took away her creative independence, like a lot of artists these days as well. Mentioning no names, she vanished from the spotlight. After years of living in the shadows, she now emerges as the lead singer of True Damage, with her mindset on defining her legacy on her own terms. Okay, interesting little story there. High Noon. So, High Noon, yeah, that one's cool as well. Yeah, I like that. I like the High Noon theme in general as well. It's a nice theme and a nice touch that Lucian has a High Noon skin and obviously so should Senna as well. So that's good. I like that one. So that says, once the greatest gunslinger on the continent, Senna's life would have ended when her heart was torn out by the devil, save for the intervention of a higher authority. Mysteriously resurrected from the heart of an angel and a demonic steed. Right, she has returned to the west to restore the balance of heaven and hell, because obviously if it's the Wild Wild West, you need a steed. However, she sees fit. Fair enough, law to herself. And then this is the final one, I think, which is Project Senna. This has been released quite recently, hasn't it? Because I think Mordekaiser and Varus have got a new project skin as well. That's nice. That's nice. The whole project line is just popping. And I've got a thing for purple. I just really like the look of purple as well. And it seems to be quite a common theme with the project skin as well. So I like that one. That's nice. What's he got here? A project volunteer who supposedly died during the elevation of her consciousness. Senna's mind was decoupled from the physical world and escaped into cyberspace, becoming a digital ghost, like Ghost in the Shell, inhabiting a body of her own design. There we go. As Mordekaiser assumed control of the city. He's obviously the villain in this whole thing then. She is one of the few who understands the true threat of his ever-expanding directives. Nice. Okay, and then I think I know it here. There we go. Down here is the Prestige Edition for True Damage. Every single Prestige Edition I've seen so far, I prefer basically the original to Prestige. And this one, I would probably say, let's just have a look. Let's look at that. Yeah, see, once again, that is a better skin than the Prestige Edition. Tell me I'm lying. Man, it looks cool, it looks good, but it's not as good as that. Just looks better, in my opinion, anyway. Anyways, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you my favourite one. Since there's only technically 4 skins, I'm just going to give you my favourite skin out of all of them. So, my favourite skin would have to be True Damage. High Noon's good. I do like the project, but this one is my favourite skin. Also, the little bio as well, where she's obviously got a record deal. I like that one as well. So yeah, so True Damage, the skin for Senna, will be my favourite skin. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to her login theme. Let's go. So I'm pause it already. This is similar, I'm guessing, to Viego's, where it's, and Fiddlesticks as well. You've got your champion theme. So it's the theme, the artwork as well as the music as well. I love when they actually put them both together. But what did I just see here? First of all, yeah, the base skin is popping. So good, so good. What is that? That's some kind of, I don't know what that is. Come on. Yeah. That is so epic. That reminds me, well, so in the bio it mentioned that her weapon, her cannon, is a combination of light and dark. And that's a good example of obviously showing it there, isn't it? Where initially she fires at Lucy and you're thinking she's shooting at him, but what she's doing is she's protecting from obviously Thresh's hooks. But then that's the light aspect of it, and the dark aspect takes over later on and knocks obviously Thresh over, doesn't it? That looks so good. Let me see that again. Oh, that looks so good, doesn't it? So there's a light aspect there. Look at the darkness wrapping around. And as it goes past and the light does its job, then it just speeds up again. It slows down, doesn't it? And then, oh, it's... That was so good. So yeah, I love how it did that, how it showed the breakdown of, I think, my top 3. It's one of my top 3 favourite cinematics, or any form of animation for that matter, from League of Legends. Amazing. So I like how they did that, and let's not forget the music. The music is popping. The music is so good. So I just want to pick out a few things in this. So the first one I noticed was this here. That's interesting there. Ghost hands summon souls. So this is clearly one of the early concepts, and where she can obviously summon souls from her hand. And then I also noticed later on one of the other concepts was, let me find it, she's got hooks as well. Here we go. She's got hooks that maybe are attached like on a chain as well. So it's in a way it's giving me elements of Thresh's ability as well. Maybe something that she's in, maybe in this lore or in this initial concept, something that she's gained from Thresh from being in his lantern. I don't think she's obviously got that ability, but it's just interesting to see the initial concept design of it as well. Yeah, and all the different skins. And what's interesting as well is in a minute it shows the symbol, doesn't it, for the for the Sentinels of Light. Here we go. So this I presume is the symbol for the Sentinels of Light, and then it shows that incorporated into her weapon. There we go. It's just broken apart, but that's basically in her weapon. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, really good champion theme, and also really good to see the concept art that goes, or all the work should I say, that goes into making something as good as Senna Shadow's Embrace. So what am I going to do now? I am going to move on to her story and then onto her special interactions. Let's go. Right, so her story is the Voices of the Dead, and a nice cover image there as well. A lot of the other ones I read from the Shadow Isles have had that default image. Nice to see this one. Yeah. So, there's a saying on my island, only through stealing our breath can the wind speak. You want me to describe the black mist that greeted me when I first arrived in the Ionian village, hood raised, relic cannon on my back. The mist steals words too, the screams of those who die within. Once they were my screams, but I'm now oh my god, but I'm alive now. I felt the warmth where Lucian's hand touched my shoulder as he stepped off the boat onto Ionian soil. Right, okay. So maybe, is this where the Ruined King's going? Somehow reaching through my walls the way only he can. The way he's the only fool stubborn enough to try. To learn the one thing that gets through my armour and all the rules beneath is love. You go high, I go low. I asked, feeding him warmth, go cold. Feeling his warmth go cold as he considered. For a moment he didn't see me standing before him. He saw the woman he tried to save, who was cursed, always running. He saw the scythe swinging towards her. He looked straight into her eyes, even as he looked into mine. I go low, he said, leaving other things to silence, and now his hands were on his guns. Senna, his voice broke with the weight of the memory. It's okay, I said softly. I can remember that woman too. This is what's interesting about it. She's clearly not the same woman as she was before, but she's now got a greater purpose now, hasn't she? So, yeah. On the horizon, darkness swirled, casting even darker shadows onto a village carved into stone, deluged by heavy rain and worse. Somewhere in the darkness was light, another sentinel who'd called us here. I'd have to fight my way to it. The path up the mountain to the village was nearly worn away by centuries of storms, washing away everything but the toughest crags. If that's the right damn word. I could feel the wind pressing against my hood, the spray of the ocean hard against my skin, as if the world were pushing me back, warning me of the darkness ahead, but none of that compared to what had hit me, and as a howl rose up, roaring through the village. It was my curse. The mist knew I was here. It would come for me before anyone else. Must be time for my daily ambush, I muttered, unmoved, and from a horizon black with death, souls poured forth. Great. Drawn to me as I drew breath, as I drew my weapon. The relic stones of fallen sentinels moved as one, each held by too many hands before mine. Men and women, fathers, sisters, all lost to darkness. But when I held my weapon, I held their light, gleaming in the guns. 2 barrels. Right, so 2 interesting things here. The first one, in the bio we find out that her weapon that she uses now is a collection of all previous sentinels' weapons. This reminds me a little bit of Callista, where Callista obviously wants vengeance, and she takes the souls of people that also want vengeance to help them get vengeance, in essence. It's a kind of a similar thing with this, where it says there, doesn't it? It's the relics of fallen sentinels, men, women and fathers, sisters, all lost to darkness. But I hold their light. Second point is this, the gun's 2 barrels. So yeah, so it's dark and light. So 1 barrel fires light and 1 barrel fires darkness. I'll have to go back and look at Senna Shanna's Embrace and see if I can see that. Interesting. Anyway, a tendril of mist hit me as the wraith within took shape. Staggered by the blow, I stumbled back, catching my footing just before falling towards the rocks below. Thunder pealed as the screams of souls joined the rain and crashing waves that besieged the island, but the flash of light that followed wasn't lightning. It was my relic cannon, the shot boiling the wraith into shadows. Nice. It required control, it required focus. I needed to fight the mist with every fibre of my being, and I could not stop, not for a moment of my life. With every shot that burned a wraith away, another was revealed. It was so close to the village now, I could see new wraiths rising, spiralling towards me, into blessed light. Annabelle, are you there? I called out. I'd met him only once, when Urias brought me to a meeting of sentinels. It was rare for sentinels to gather, but something had frightened Urias that made him call them all together. He never told me what it was, but I could tell by the way the others looked at me. It hurt more when they didn't know, when they tried to get past my armour, only to find the reason it was there. Still firing, I advanced further into the village. The race moved fast, swooping into buildings nearby as old as the island itself, carved from the same stone. But there was order in the chaos. The wraiths were circling above. They wanted something, not just life, not just souls, not just me. Right. This guy here, Annabelle. I called already, barely hearing myself over the storm. Over here, hurry, a panicked voice responded. It was the voice of a girl, and then her light joined me in the darkness. Annabelle's apprentice, Dawawan. She stood above a crumpled body, 2 figures in the dark. The light of Annabelle's relic stone glaive glowing dully on her face. concentration clear as on her brow as she defended her fallen mentor. Right, he's dead as well. He had managed to pass the torch then. His relic stone was not lost. We have to get out of here, the girl said with a shudder. We have to get the villagers out of here. I can still hear them. It must be them. She paused and looked down at the shape at her feet in confused agony. I can still hear him. But even as her knuckles grew white, clenching the half of her glaive, I put my relic cannon on my back. I reached out gently and took her shoulders. We're going to get through this, I said. Beyond her, I saw the entrance to the village catacombs, swarming with wraiths, all of us, I added softly. Whatever the mist wanted, it was there. The catacombs had been carved out by countless floods. As well as we left the village behind, heading underground, still the storm made itself known, water rolling down the walls around us. But if we were going to drown in the depths, it would be from rising sea or falling squall. Okay, it would be in the black mist that rolled like a wave to meet us, swallowing our light in a liquid roar. I could hear the screams of the people from my village, torn away when I was just a girl and first saw death. I could hear the echoes of my own and see the look on Lucian's face when death first saw me. I was hit by the rage of fear of the people still dying above, their cries in a language I couldn't understand, but speaking of pain I knew all too well. Wraiths rose up throughout the catacombs, trapped in a rictus of the agony they meant to inflict, but no matter how loud the screams of the living, the sound could never drown out their own, and no matter how brightly my light burned, it could never hurt them worse than when the darkness returned. And so instead I embraced them before death could. My call was irresistible. I could draw the I could draw the mist to myself, which you see obviously in the game as well, away from others. I felt death rushing, push the lie of my body away. As the mist clung to me, one by one it let the souls go. All who had been drawn here, all who had died above. For a moment I thought I was Annabelle. Only one vague shape lingered, a will still slowly awakening. It hovered for a moment before turning its face to me, rage burning where there were no eyes. No, I whispered through the shroud of death that had transformed me into a wraith. You don't get to speak. You tell him. You listen. Pushing the mist into my gun, I fired all the pain and fear I'd gathered back at its source, where it was deserved. As darkness collided with darkness, the light within me glowed. Life wouldn't let me go. I felt my body return as the last of the mist left me. With a gasp, I fell to my knees. What did I miss? A voice asked, emerging deeper from the tunnels. Is that Lucian? You know, the usual, I said, though I was still catching my breath. Ruined King raiding catacombs to find who knows what, Lucian asked. Right, pretty much, I answered. I looked up at Darwan, realization dawning on her face. Her glaive was still pointed at me. There's a saying on my island, only through stilling our breaths can the wind speak. In the roaring clamour of the black mist, I hear the words of the dead, and I'm here to give their voices back. Right, okay, interesting. That was a pretty good story as well, especially the last part there, where they've obviously gone onto this island as kind of like for help, or as help, should I say, because one of these guys, Sentinels of Lights, called them to help. And it says there, doesn't it, that the Ruined King is raiding catacombs to find who knows what. Interesting. I wonder what he's searching for. No doubt probably something that can save his wife. Anyways, no, that was good. That was good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to her special interactions. Let's go.
You've been kind of distant since you came out of that lantern. Something you ain't telling me?
Yeah. I met someone in there. He's a ghoul. We fell in love and made ghoul babies.
Oh. Haha.
That's good. Yeah.
How do you aim that thing? Isn't it heavy?
Not if you know what you're doing.
Because I tried to. Oh.
You ready?
I aim to purify.
I aim to purify.
Try to keep up.
Try to be less beautiful.
I can turn into a screaming cloud.
Right. I'll keep up. Reckon it's time.
For a reckoning.
Yep.
Thresh, you're mine.
No. We do this together.
Exactly. Learn your lesson. Learn your lesson.
Look at us making new memories.
Same as the old memories.
or the light.
And all lost in darkness.
Sometimes, I see what the darkness is afraid of.
Yes, I can see it now. The gun has two cannons, doesn't it, in essence? It's got the light and the dark and the independent, the fire separately. Something I never noticed before.
You're sweet.
Check this.
Life from death.
Getting used to it. Thanks.
I was aiming at them. I need you alive to kiss me.
Could see how that would be preferable. So what was it like, all that time in the lantern?
A nightmare. Lot of darkness. Food was great, though.
Really?
No. You're quiet.
What's to say? You're still cursed.
Keep that up and I'll curse you. So how's this gonna work?
Well, reckon I shoot something twice, and then you shoot it a third time.
Worked so far. When the mist came to my island, Demasia's gates were closed. Will they be open when you need help? Eternal beauty, Elise? Now that's a curse. Another nightmare. Fine. I could use the target practice while I sleep. Horsey! What? I can like horses. I can like things.
Just not Hecarim.
Running shouldn't be part of your plan, Kaisa. Survive the fight, not the fear.
Oh,
You saved me, Lucian.
Nice.
We saved each other. Lucian has a way of breaking down my walls. Only a man stubborn enough to fight me would be stubborn enough to love me. In darkness, we find ourselves. When we run to the light, shadows are cast behind us. You need to be ready, Lux. I know where the ruination began. It flows through us both.
Yeah, and
All this
she can
time,
say that.
Morgana, and you still haven't learned to let go.
She's got...
Darkness. Welcome to my world.
What's the Senna on the line? Senna's got a, you know what I mean, dropping them knowledge. Dropping that knowledge. Okay.
Hi, it's me. The one you've been ruthlessly hunting your whole damn life. Left one alive. Bad habit. Have I suffered enough yet? Or do you need me to be a corpse? I could free you, but those you've made suffer come first. I know the most ancient, holy ways to kick you in the darkness. When I hear chains, I reach for my gun. Wasn't wrong. You don't own me, Thresh. I'm not afraid of you. Lucian may think you're the enemy, but to me, Thresh, you're only in the way.
Got a bigger purpose
At the
now.
center of your lantern, there's a soul, wretched and afraid. I think it's you.
That'd be ironic, wouldn't it? If he's trapped in their lantern as well. That'd be mad.
You want to get my soul? You go through the mist. Vayne, you can aim for my heart when you find your own.
Yeah, because she's damn cold. That's why. I like Vayne as a player. But that story where she killed her friend, what's her friend called? Frey. Because she found out her friend was a monster and just killed her. What kind of, yeah, cold
I know
hide.
where the ruination began. It flows through us both. Cats deserve love, even if they don't need it. And they use a book to hit you in the face. Only thing bigger than this gun? The mistake you made standing in its sights.
Ooh. Got some good
If you've
lines.
got a problem with me, make it 2. 1 for each barrel. Don't make this personal. I'm not nice. He probably liked that. Creep. Lucian, we'll be together again soon. We've been through so much, Lucian. Please don't give up on me now. I know what it's like to die. This hurts worse. Handled.
Okay.
I won't stop until the nightmares have nightmares. Boo. Will take more than one wraith to ruin my day. Darkness to darkness, light to light. For the living, for the dead. Every death is a sacrifice. If you're only dead, count yourself lucky. I've seen too much of this, but I won't close my eyes. In death, we fight the same fight. Am I supposed to say something clever? Some of us have work to do. Died again. Must be getting good at it.
Yeah, not the first time.
Life won't let me go. To be reborn. Am I still me? Every day I fought for my life. Why should today be any different? Death? Yeah, we're acquainted. Everything that's happened, I just want it to matter. Come back to life, save the world, all with weapons locked. The Sentinels trained me right. The Mist knows my name. It howled it for years. But it was only asking for help.
Yeah, that's a good line. That's a great line.
Where I'm going, you don't want to go. Seriously, you don't. I'm not running from them anymore. They're running from me. When there's no more light, I'll carry their darkness. If I can handle this gun, I can handle myself. Trust me, I can handle this gun. Any volunteers to charge blindly into a storm of souls? Sentinel, wife, a beacon unto damn darkness. When can I just be a person? When can I be me? Too hard, too hurt, too changed. If you're not too much of something, then you're not enough you.
Wow.
When you're drowning, you still remember how to breathe, but you can't? That's the mist. I'm a long way from the island, but I swear there's still salt in my hair. Might just be dirt from the grave. It's enough to hear Lucian say my name. The more blood on your hands, the harder it is to let go. I used to tell myself I was fighting back, but I was only running with a gun in my hand. The grave is silent. You're buried in all the things you never said. Part of me keeps wondering when I'll run into the lantern's walls. I see myself in them, in the eyes of the people I save, and the darkness reflected there. My walls aren't unbreakable. I'm not either. Love was left when everything else was torn away. No one said this would be easy. If they did, they're probably dead by now. Kill him twice, just to be sure. Death is always in range. I don't miss. It's not an option. That's enough. Got a whole lot of ugly in my sights. All this pain, it's not mine. Line up a shot while the whole world screams. Keep your distance. The gun doesn't have a trigger. I do. Darkness
The animation on
and
the
light.
gun.
Wanna kill me?
that's
Get
crazy.
in line. Stone channels soul. Don't go quietly. Not my funeral. Already happened. I prefer people at gun's length. Keep it simple. Let's establish some boundaries. I feel every shot. I can do the hard way. If you're here for them, you're here for me. I fire my words, like gunlight. Don't stand where the gun's pointing. Die again, I'll pass. I've got your curse. Light
Got a lot of
becomes
lines.
hope.
A lot of lines. Wow. Okay, yeah. She got a lot of lines in her. So, that was really good. If I had to say that's one of my favourites. One of my favourite interactions. Her interactions at the beginning with Lucian were great. And then her interactions with various other champions were deep as well. Dropping some knowledge there. Really good. I'd put that up with obviously Jin. Jin has probably got the best special interactions, and also Swain. If I remember rightly, Swain had some really, really good special interactions. So I'd say Swain, Jin, and Senna's are all up there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish off with her spotlight. Let's go. Here we go.
Senna and Lucian once fought side by side until Thresh imprisoned her soul in his lantern. But holding on to a spark of hope, Senna learned to embrace the darkness she found within. Now she's back and armed with a hefty relic cannon to redeem the lost souls of the Black Mist.
No shadow without light.
Senna's the first marksman designed for support, wielding light and shadow, compassion and pain. Are you afraid of the dark? Welcome to the Senna Champion Spotlight. Senna's passive, Absolution, allows her to collect Black Mist to increase her attack damage, attack range, and crit chance over time. The more you collect, the further you scale, so gather Mist to unleash the full extent of your arsenal. Hit an opponent twice to grab a stack of Black Mist. Fallen enemies will also drop a soul, which Senna can attack to pick up Mist. She's learned a thing or two from her former Chain Warden. Senna's Q mirrors Lucian's Piercing Light. With Piercing Darkness, she'll fire a beam that heals herself and allies, and hurts foes. The more you attack, the faster it cools down. Senna can target anything to cast the shot.
Alright.
Drop a ward to hit enemies that are invisible, or out of range.
Handled.
Senna's W is Last Embrace, a shot that deals damage to the first target, then roots them and surrounding enemies after a brief delay. Getting a kill activates the root effect immediately. Got him!
Let's establish some boundaries.
Senna's E is Curse of the Black Mist, a team camouflage that disguises her and any allies who touch it. From the enemy's point of view, she and her allies disappear while inside the mist. When her teammates emerge, they turn into unclickable wraiths. Which champion is which? It's a mystery. Attacking breaks the camouflage. Senna's Shroud will return, but her allies lose their ghoulish form once they attack or cast a spell, which might be a missed opportunity. While Senna is in her Shroud, she can still be hit by skill shots, but they won't reveal her.
Right.
If someone ganks your lane, you can use the mist to stage creative getaways. There's also a speed boost, so run like the mist.
Nice.
Senna's ultimate, Dawning Shadow, shields her allies and damages foes. Enemies caught in the middle take tons of damage, while the entire blast gives her teammates tons of shielding. This lightning-fast missile can span the entire map. With the right timing, she can end, or extend, a fight from any lane. Boo-bye! In lane, Senna should harass her opponents with her long-ranged attacks. Her goal is to gather Mist, which means wearing down enemies and using her abilities whenever she can. But look out, her spells work best from behind her teammates. If she starts in front, there's no one to heal, and often nowhere to run. Senna's team strategy is to group, hide, and surprise. Play peekaboo with her Shroud and catch your opponents off guard. Maybe some misdirection for good measure. Senna can take advantage of her long range to deliver utility from a safe distance. Protect your friends or pick off your foes. Or both. If you want to assist your team with the damage and distance of a marksman, Senna's your girl. Out of the lantern for good, she brings the dark power of the Shadow Isles into the light. Feast your eyes on the links below to learn more about League's newest sensation.
By the time I'm done here,
He's not sure, is he?
dying will be the easy part.
He's just run off. Is that right? He doesn't know which Senna to go to, the left or the right, so he's thought, forget this. I'm not making a decision. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to run out of here, get out of here. Wow. So anyways, yeah, that was nice. That was a good ending to the overall review of Senna on the Spotlight. Yeah, I've played Senna a couple of times and I've played against her, and she's also been in my teams a couple of times in League of Legends, but there's quite a few things in there that I learned from this Spotlight, so I'm glad I've watched that as well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it here today, guys, on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed my thoughts and reactions to the bio, the skins, the story, I've got to say login theme, but it's not a login theme, is it? The champion theme, which was amazing. Really good champion theme. Also her very good special interactions and this spotlight. And if you did, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, and also subscribe for more content like this if you haven't done so already. Next week is technically the last champion I'm going to be covering from the Shadow Isles, which is Gwen. Now, I don't know how much content is going to be available for Gwen, but whatever is available, I will be going through next Thursday. So if you're interested in Gwen, feel free to check out the channel next Thursday for a review on that. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.